Bengal is no longer calm. The gates are not merely being tested, they have been crossed. The Bharatiya Janata Party has stepped inside and it's not tiptoeing. When Rajnath Singh held his rally, speaking about national security, border management, law and order, and central development schemes, the message was clear. This wasn't a ceremonial visit. This was a statement, a calm, institutional statement carrying the weight of authority. And when Amit Shah followed with sharp commentary on political violence, corruption, and administrative failures, the fortress that Mamata Banerjee had carefully built over years suddenly felt the pressure of an inside challenge. Bengal was no longer untouchable, and the political battle had entered her own backyard. Bengal is strategic and everyone knows it. With 42 Lok Sabha seats, an international border, and decades of symbolic opposition influence, the state represents more than just governance, it represents national prestige. For Mamata Banerjee, Bengal is survival itself. For the BJP, it is expansion. The stakes are enormous. The political narrative is no longer about polite speeches or ceremonial handshakes. It is about who controls perception, who defines the story, and who shapes the battlefield in the minds of voters. Rajnath Singh approached the battle with calm authority. In his speeches, he emphasized the importance of border security, law and order, and coordination between the state and the center. On the surface, it sounded administrative, even routine, but the subtext was sharp. Highlighting border issues elevated Bengal into a national security theatre. Talking about law and order subtly questioned administrative competence. These were not accusations shouted from a podium. They were calculated signals. Soft pressure, long lasting and institutional, often hits harder than direct attacks. Every word planted seeds of doubt. Every phrase reshaped perception. Amit Shah's approach, by contrast, was blunt and aggressive. He spoke of political violence, alleged corruption, infiltration, and governance failures. The message was clear. The BJP is no longer outside observers. It is an active challenger, moving freely inside the fortress. Repetition matters. The more these topics were repeated in public, the more they became the lenses through which Bengal's political reality would be viewed. Even disagreement with these claims reinforced their prominence in the conversation. The calm authority of Rajnath, combined with Shah's strategic aggression, created a two pronged pressure mechanism. Institutional legitimacy paired with raw political muscle. Mamata Banerjee, of course, responded. She framed her counterattack around federalism, state autonomy, Bengali identity, and her government's welfare programs. In speeches and media statements, she insisted that Bengal would not bow to pressure, that central agencies were being misused for political targeting, and that her government's social programs were proof of effective governance. This reframing was clever. It turned governance criticism into a fight for dignity and identity. But here's the strategic nuance. While Mamta is responding powerfully, she is still reacting to the agenda set by Delhi. In politics, the power of initiative often outweighs the power of defense. By choosing to counter the attack rather than set the topics, she ceded the partial narrative control to the BJP. The concept of the fortress is crucial here. A fortress doesn't fall in one battle. It weakens gradually through narrative penetration, organizational build-up, morale shifts, and slow perception changes. Step by step, the BJP is executing this process. Repeated visits, rallies, and public statements normalize the idea that it is no longer an outsider party. It belongs in Bengal's political landscape. Psychological control is being exerted as much as physical presence. The longer the BJP operates confidently inside the fortress, the more voters begin to see it as a credible alternative. This is slow, structural political work, and it is happening inside Mamta's stronghold. Bengal's international border adds another layer to the strategy. By emphasizing security and infiltration issues, Rajnath Singh reframes the debate into one of national priority. Once national security becomes part of the conversation, the center gains leverage and any state level pushback can be painted as negligence. Mamta counters effectively, insisting that border protection is the center's responsibility, but this still forces her into defensive territory. The chessboard is not just administrative, it is psychological. Every public statement, every rally, every speech becomes a move in a high stakes game. Cadre morale is another subtle battle. Every time Amit Shah visits, local BJP workers are energized. The message is clear. Leadership is committed. Presence is strong and ground operations will not waver. Political machines are built from the ground up, and morale translates into better organization, more effective booth management, and ultimately, votes. The fortress is being tested not just at the top but at the grassroots level. The psychological pressure is multi layered. The voters, the opposition, and even the state bureaucracy feel the weight of attention from Delhi. The national implications are immense. If Bengal gradually tilts toward the BJP opposition coalition, mathematics shift dramatically. Mamta's leverage in national politics diminishes and the eastern political balance moves decisively. If Mamta maintains her grip, the BJP's eastern expansion faces real limits and federal resistance remains a credible political model. The stakes are no longer regional, they are national. Bengal's political battlefield is also shaping the national chessboard. The fortress is not fallen. Mamta Banerjee's network, welfare reach, and emotional connection to voters are formidable. But the dynamics have shifted. BJP is no longer knocking from outside, it is standing inside, campaigning freely, controlling narrative, and shaping voter perception. Mamta is fighting back fiercely, but the initiative has been partially seized. This is slow, strategic political warfare. Every move counts, every speech leaves an impression, every visit subtly shifts the balance. In conclusion, this is not about a single rally or a press conference. It is about territorial dominance, psychological pressure, and narrative control. Rajnath Singh projects calm institutional authority. Amit Shah applies aggressive political muscle. Mamta Banerjee counters with identity, autonomy, and welfare defense. The fortress is tested, not yet destroyed, but no longer insulted. Bengal is now an open battlefield, and the political war inside its wall has just intensified. The next elections will determine whether the fortress holds or whether structural shift have begun inside Mamta's stronghold. And one thing is certain, the siege is no longer outside. It is happening inside. If you like the story, please like, share and comment. Thank you.